Most villains want power, some want revenge, while others seek control. But Marshall D teaches different. Blackbeard doesn't chase power simply for the sake of having it. He chases a dream, and that's exactly what makes him so terrifying. For more than 20 years, One Piece has portrayed dreams as something beautiful and inspiring. Luffy follows a dream. Roger followed a dream. Every member of the Straw Hat crew is driven by a dream of their own. Yet Blackbeard represents the darker side of that same idea. What happens when a dream becomes more important than your humanity? What happens when ambition consumes your identity? To understand Blackbeard, we need to explore the psychology behind his actions and why he may be one of the most realistic villains Ichiro Oda has ever created. Let's begin with one of the most mysterious images in all of One Piece. A young Teach sitting alone beneath the moon, crying and unable to sleep. Oda has never fully explained this scene, but psychologically, it may reveal everything we need to know about him. Most children dream about what they want to become. Teach, however, seems obsessed with what he never wants to be, weak. Fear is often a stronger motivator than desire, and Blackbeard's entire life appears to be built around avoiding weakness at all costs. When you examine his major decisions, a pattern begins to emerge. He hides within Whitebeard's crew for decades, not because of loyalty or admiration, but because it offers protection. He waits patiently for years, not necessarily because he is disciplined, but because he fears failure. He only makes his move when the odds are overwhelmingly in his favor. That isn't confidence, it's calculated fear. Blackbeard isn't driven by courage in the way Luffy is. He's driven by a deep terror of powerlessness, and that creates a fascinating contrast between the two characters. Luffy accepts weakness. He loses battles, suffers defeats, cries openly, and relies on others when he needs help. Blackbeard refuses to be vulnerable. Instead, he spends his life trying to eliminate every possibility of weakness, and over time, that fear transforms into obsession. Most pirates would be satisfied with obtaining a single legendary devil fruit. Blackbeard wanted 2. Most pirates would be satisfied becoming a Yonko. Blackbeard wanted more. While others chase treasure, Teach seems to chase dominance itself. What's interesting is that every time he gains power, he immediately begins pursuing something greater. Psychologists refer to this as the hedonic treadmill, the idea that achievements never truly satisfy us. We adapt to success, and then we begin craving something bigger, something better, something beyond what we already have. The cycle repeats endlessly until nothing feels like enough. Blackbeard embodies this concept perfectly. He spent decades searching for the darkness fruit. Once he obtained it, he sought Whitebeard's power. Then he pursued territory, influence, ancient knowledge, and political leverage. The goal constantly changes because the real objective was never power itself. The real objective was filling something missing inside him. The tragedy is that power can never accomplish that. That's why Blackbeard always seems hungry, not physically, but psychologically. He behaves like a man trying to fill a void, yet every success only makes that void larger. This is where Blackbeard becomes truly fascinating. Unlike many villains, he rarely forces people to follow him. Instead, he manipulates them. And there's a significant difference between the two. Look at his crew. Nearly every member joined because Teach offered them something they already desired: freedom, violence, status, opportunity, or purpose. Blackbeard understands desire, and people who understand desire become incredibly dangerous. They don't need loyalty, they only need leverage. Think about how he used Whitebeard, how he exploited the world government, how he took advantage of Impel Down, and how he turned Marineford into an opportunity. He treats institutions the same way he treats individuals, as tools, stepping stones, and resources. Most characters in One Piece see relationships. Blackbeard sees transactions, and that's one of the clearest signs that his dream has begun replacing his identity. People stop being people. They become assets. They become means to an end. Perhaps the most astonishing thing about Blackbeard is his patience. 20 years aboard Whitebeard's ship. 20 years pretending, 20 years hiding his true intentions from everyone around him. Most people struggle to stay focused on a goal for 20 days, yet Teach remained committed for decades. That level of dedication tells us something important. His dream isn't merely a goal, it's an obsession. Psychologically, obsessions have the power to rewrite a person's identity. Eventually, you stop asking yourself, "What do I want?" and begin asking, "What does the dream want?" At that point, the dream becomes the master, and you become its servant. Blackbeard sacrificed friendships, morality, trust, and genuine human connection in pursuit of a single objective. That's no longer ambition. It's devotion, almost religious devotion. And that's why his smile feels so unsettling. Unlike Luffy, Teach no longer seems capable of separating himself from his dream. The two have become inseparable. This brings us to the central theme of Blackbeard's character. He isn't the opposite of Luffy. He's a distorted reflection of him. Both men believe in dreams, both refuse to give up, both challenge the world around them, both inspire followers and chase what others consider impossible. The difference lies in what they're willing to sacrifice. Luffy's dream expands his identity. It allows him to form friendships, protect others, build meaningful relationships, and become more human with every step of his journey. Blackbeard's dream does the opposite. It consumes his identity, it strips away empathy, trust, compassion, and connection until nothing remains except ambition. Luffy carries his dream. Blackbeard is carried by his. And that's the tragedy at the heart of his character. Because somewhere inside Marshall D. Teach, there was probably once a frightened little boy sitting alone beneath the moon. A child terrified of being weak. A child who believed that power could solve every problem and erase every fear. But the longer he chased his dream, the more of himself he sacrificed. Piece by piece, his humanity disappeared until eventually there was only Blackbeard. Maybe that's why Oda chose Blackbeard to be Luffy's ultimate rival. Not because he's stronger, not because he's smarter, but because he represents a warning about dreams themselves. Dreams can inspire people, dreams can change the world, dreams can create legends, but if you allow them to consume who you are, they can also turn you into a monster. And Blackbeard may be the perfect example of that. So here's the real question. Is Blackbeard truly evil? Or is he simply a man who lost himself while chasing a dream? Dream carefully.